now for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. The number to call if you're up and around and you're out and about and you want to give us a shout, area code 267-687-0026. Once again, that number is area code 267-687-0026. We want to remind you all that the Shop Report is now being brought to you by none other than the fine folks over at Rocket Digital. If you find yourself in need of services such as marketing consulting, media production, or social media advertising, I don't know why I talk with a list because I don't have one, and a host of other digital services, hop on over to their Facebook page at RDM Detroit. That's R as in Randy, D as in David, M as in Mary, Detroit. And tell them Jay from the shop sent you. Oh, and by the way, if you don't want to go to the Facebook page, you can go to their website, rocketdigital.net. Once again, that's Rocket, R-O-C-K-I-T, digital.net, and that is their website. Joining me on the P-Rogram today is none other than my cat from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park. Brother Rich, what's happening?
Always honored and humbled to be on your program. Always honored to humble to be with my good friend over there in Michigan. And I want to say this about, as you were giving us that introduction about our sponsor today. That sounds like a good company to help the Cowboys. So perhaps we, whatever that company is, sound like the Cowboys. You should have your team enlist them for services.
You think so?
I wanted to make a mention.
Okay, got you. I'll have to let you know who that sponsor is, by the way, because once I tell you who that sponsor is, but that's okay, because you ain't gonna be able to backpedal, not off of that one. Anyway, on the other side of the ledger, we got my man from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell the people what you say.
For what Michael Jordan is to the Bulls, Barbershop J and the Kettle are to the Cowboys.
Seriously? Seriously, listen. Let me, you know what? Before we even get into any of this action we got going on today, let me just point something out to you all. First of all, I want to know, how in the world did we get to this point where I'm supposed to be this Cowboys fan? Secondly, before y'all answer that, y'all got people at my job calling me Lil Jerry. Jerry, what's up, Lil Jerry? How's it going? How the thing? How's it down in Texas? Because of y'all too. You get what I'm saying? Guess what? Brother Richard, Double J, like 45 would say, you're fired. We got my man D Gully from the CO Bus joining us. Gully, what the deal be?
Everything, man. How you guys doing? Great to be here. Great to be back again. Ready to get to it as always.
Well, my goodness, loosen your tie, Poindexter. You know what I'm saying? Let me take a sip off the Walt H2O Q75-89. That's so refreshing. Yeah. We glad that everybody's here too today on the panel, right? Got you. Yeah. We start things off today with y'all know I ordinarily don't get down with the whole top 10, top 5, top 50 and all of that. That whole top list thing, right? Y'all know I don't get down with that, right? Y'all know that, right? And you know why?
Right.
Because
Right.
It's subjective. It's not exact, okay? People say facts or truth. Not you, Brother Rich. I'm just saying people in general, right? We could look at the same thing, and I could see something different. Then you could see no. Truth is not open to interpretation. If you try to interpret it, excuse me, that shouldn't have happened. But if you try to interpret it, you know why? Because you don't want to see it as the truth that it is. I said this to my sons earlier. Actually, we were having the same kind of conversation. You know, I mention my sons a lot because we talk a lot. I said, every person, human being walking this earth got a left arm and a right arm. If I sit and look at you, or you looking at your brother, and I say, do he got a left arm and a right arm? Is it true that he? Yeah, it's true. Now, what's open to interpretation? The color of his skin, maybe, or if one is shorter than the other. So, okay, that's open for interpretation. But the truth is, he got a left and a right, just like everybody. So, in other words, the truth, if we talking true, is not open to interpretation. Okay, so I don't do the list thing and all of that, because how long ago did they do the NBA top 50? When David Robinson and all, I think David Robinson was on it, Hakeem and all of them. Now they doing another one, from my understanding. They didn't try to put now it's top 74, and some of them got, and I'm like, so then that first list ain't accurate. Then you get, that's my point. Is there's too many players throughout the years of the NBA. Some we've seen, some we haven't seen. You can't say top. Say top 1,000 maybe, or something or another. You know what I mean? Stop trying to pigeonhole it into this many or that many and so on and so forth. But anyway, Bruce Bowen put one up that I found rather interesting. If you all don't mind me sharing that with you. Do you all mind me sharing that with you today? Oh, okay.
Please go ahead.
What piqued my interest about Bruce Bowen's is because out of all the top lists I've seen, his actually gave me pause to think, to cogitate, ruminate. That's to think, excuse me, for some of y'all out there who, didn't graduate. Excuse me. And here's his list. At number 1, he got Michael Jordan. At number 2, he got Kobe Bryant. Number 3, got Bill Russell. Number 4, Magic Johnson. 5, Tim Duncan. 6, got LeBron. 7, got Shaq. 8, got Kareem. 9, he got Larry. And 10, he got Wilt. Now, I said when I sent the post up, I posted it to our Facebook fan page, I'm cool with this list because, again, it makes some sense to some degree, but it's on the back end that I would maybe have the discussion about who should be where. Now, y'all all know my disdain for the people's champion. But aside from that, just speaking strictly as a pure, what are you gonna say, Brother Rich? Go ahead. What are you gonna say? Is that you?
I just said we know. I'm just bearing witness to the audience.
Okay.
We know.
Okay.
Yes, I'm just telling the audience. Yes, we do know your disdain.
Okay. Yes. Yes. But speaking as a purist, LeBron shouldn't be 6. Kareem, now, and to be honest with you, Tim Duncan not at 5. If I had to, I'd put Kareem at 5. Okay? I think Kareem should be 5, if nothing else. And then Larry, 6. Shaq, I'm cool with Shaq at 7. I'm cool with Wilt at 10. And believe it or not, I'd put LeBron at 9. Double J, your thoughts?
Well, I like the list where it stood. Again, I'm going to agree with you that I believe that Tim Duncan belongs in the conversation, but I don't necessarily believe that he belongs at 5. However, something I believe that this list.
Oh, and I got one more too, but go ahead, finish. I got one more. I left him out.
Actually saying this list says fundamentals. This list says love of the game. This list speaks to all of the things that words generally don't. These folks all led with their actions rather than their words. And the success followed. In terms of completeness, this is one of the first lists that I could say from, again, granted, there was only 5, but it was arguably the most complete out of any that I've ever seen.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop you right there. I'm with you on that part about the complete, but let me back up a bit. Brother Rich, I'll come to you next right quick. I just want to say something here. Number 1, Hakeem should be on this list. All right? And if I had to take Wilt Chamberlain off, I'd take Wilt Chamberlain off. But Hakeem Olajuwon should be on this list. Olajuwon should be on any top 10 list, period. That's number 1. Number 2, not everybody on this list is fundamentally sound. And I'm glad you brought that up, Double J, because once again, before we came on air about an hour ago, my son called me, and he sent me a YouTube link to Jay Billis and some comments he made to Mike Greenberg about, of course, The Last Dance and so on and so forth. We'll get to that, too, obviously, a little bit later on. And this whole great player and who was the best, and could these players play today, back then in the 80s and 90s and so on and so forth. Now, Jay Billis is one that I'll listen to Jay Billis. But when I'm watching the YouTube video, Billis said these guys could play. These guys today could play back then. You know, they would, like Giannis, and he mentioned LeBron, a few other names. They could dominate and all of that. Who am I to say? He said, and then he said these players today are better. That's where I turned it off. Listen, I respectfully disagree, and I'm going to have to get at Jay. It's been a long time since I talked to him, but I'm going to have to get at Jay. I'm definitely going to send him a tweet, because here's something. I wrote this down. As soon as I watched the video, I wrote this down. Let me explain something to y'all right now. And again, Brother Rich, we coming to you after this. Today's players are not better. They are not, okay? And anybody that thinks that they are better, it's because of the reverence, okay? There's the reverence. They so caught up in the reverence that that reality is irrelevant now, okay? And when I say I respectfully, and I'm going to tell Jay, I respectfully disagree that, again, today BA players are better for a few reasons. Hand checking, because he mentioned hand checking. Well, they say if you take hand checking, okay, hand checking aside, they don't move their feet well enough. And my stance is going to be, as it always has been, number one, defensive players don't make offensive players work, quote unquote, to score like they did in the 80s, in the 90s, and the early 2000s. Number two, too many wasted offensive possessions. Number three, guys come down 1-on-5 and shoot threes. Number four, offensive players don't follow their shots. Number five, you look at the post footwork. And before I go to number six, let me stay with number five for a second. And I'm going to have my son on the next show, provided he don't got because he's getting ready to graduate, thank goodness. You know what I mean? Provided he ain't got no homework or nothing to do or no last-minute work. But I'm going to have him on the next show. I'm going to have him tell you all out of his own mouth what I had him do one time, and he couldn't even do it for one half of a game, okay? Here's what I had him do. Put the mute button on. Who's your favorite player? My middle son said, LeBron. I said, okay, fine. What I want you to do is I want you to watch as soon as the ball goes up off the tip. I want you to find your favorite player and watch his feet. Don't look at nothing else, because anything else, see, when you're watching a game with the sound on, I done said this 1,000 times, and I'm going to keep saying it. It's too many distractions, and your perception and how you perceive it is cloudy. Right. Watch that player's feet. And I'm telling you right now, that dude is fundamentally flawed. But you're not seeing that because now they got it where even when you're watching it from the house, they got the game day experience, the cannons going off, boom, boom, and all of these in the halftime, and all of that other stuff that go on in the game that you don't focus in on the nuances. Watch your favorite player's feet. So let me get to six. Excuse me, sorry. Oh, did I say five? Yeah, post footwork is fundamentally flawed. Number six, the overall style of play is horrendous. And I'm asking everybody this. How many Today BA games, whether it's your favorite team or not, have you watched and both teams don't go 3 or 4 minutes, 4-minute stretches without scoring? And just on a side note or as a bonus, even if I don't care who your favorite team is, you be honest with yourself and honest on this program and tell me right now that you sitting and watching the whole game start to finish. You're not.
Right.
You're not. So, no, today's players are more athletic. They jump higher. They run faster. And I'm not saying today's game is completely devoid of skill. I'm not saying that, okay, at all. But I am telling you right now, I didn't see the 60s, and I was too young in late 70s to really understand. But the mid-80s, 90s, and the 2000s, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guarantee you right now, Tom Chambers, look him up. That windmill dunk he did in the 1987 dunk contest. Oh, and by the way, go look at who was in that dunk contest that year. And in that All-Star game, and he won the All-Star MVP, since MVPs matter so much nowadays. Tom Chambers won it. I'm not a betting man, but I will put money Tom Chambers will bust some ascots in the Today BA. Brother Rich, my bad. Have you say?
Well, I mean, I have to concur with you, man. The reality is this. Maybe that's an unfinished sentence. Maybe when they were saying today's players are better, what they really meant was today's players are better paid.
Oh, okay.
Today's players have better. That's what they mean. They didn't finish the sentence.
Okay.
But they don't mean today's players are better than the players of that era, because they couldn't mean that. Because there are not 100 players in the NBA. Larry Bird is better than 99% of every player in the modern NBA today.
And why is that?
There have not been, since he played, there have not been 10 players better than Larry Bird since he played in the NBA. There have not been 10 players better than Magic Johnson. There have not been 10 centers better than
Hakeem Olajuwon. Kareem,
which
yes.
is why I was going to go there, but you did such a beautiful point of highlighting that immediately. That's the thing about any list, that you can't, if you don't have Hakeem, a man who literally defined footwork in the modern NBA, where players of all stripes went to him to learn fundamental footwork of how you play in the NBA. Your list is not valuable. I heard Jamal Crawford said on his Twitter page,
yes,
and I thought this was so beautiful, that he said that I can't take a list seriously, don't have Kobe in the top 5.
Thank you.
And while we're on lists, I just got to say this about all these lists. What are they a list of? Are they lists of the best passers, the person with the most social media followers, the person who acted the best in their personal life, the person who had no scandals? Or is this about the game of basketball? Because the game of basketball is very simple. It's you against me, and who can put this ball in that basket the most times. And if I can do it more than you, if I can do it better than you, and no matter who you bring on this court, so that's how it becomes teamwork, because then I can't do it as well. So I said, well, I bet you can't beat me and my brother. Well, I bet I can. So, we grew up playing. If you're really good, you can play 2-on-1. You can play 3-on-1. They want to get 3 people to play you. And that's a Jordan, that's a Kobe, that's a Bird, that's rare. That's a Bird that can come down court and say, this is what I'm doing.
Oh,
I'm going to go dribble down the left-hand side.
Yes.
I'm going to come right back up, and then I'm going to shoot this right in your face. And nothing you can do about it.
Hold on, brother.
You go and do the exact thing. That's basketball.
Let me throw this in there too, Brother Rich. Let me throw this in there too now. Larry Bird said against Portland, I'm going to play this game with my left hand because I'm saving my right 2 nights later for the Lakers.
Fact.
Who doing that? Who doing that in the Today BA?
I'm doing that.
Who show me a Today BA player that ain't using ball screens to death. Man, stop it, man. Stop. I don't listen. Man, we're going to get to the last dance. The debate is over.
Footwork.
Man,
Kevin McHale's footwork.
Come on, man.
Not in the top 50,
come on, man.
But he's in the top 50, but he's not in the top 10. But his footwork, there's no player in the modern NBA that you can look at and say his footwork is his drop step motion that is so consistent every time. You can get a bucket when we need when we got set play motion. We can throw it into this guy.
Thank you.
And he's going to get a bucket every time.
Thank you.
And there's no player in the NBA we can look at and say that has that kind of consistent footwork, even though he has a limited skill set. But that particular go-to is his thing.
And let me say this to you.
Like that in the NBA.
And I'm brother.
There's no player in the modern NBA that is as solid a defensive player, where he's a defensive stalwart, where you know that you are not going to just torch him, because when they turn him loose on you, his name is Michael Cooper. There's no player in the modern NBA that we know
man,
like
you're
that.
hitting on all cylinders. You're hitting on all cylinders. And you know what, Brother Wiz? Yeah, I think I might do a top 10 list. Let's put it together, a top 10 list of guys with the best footwork. Or guys who's not only with the best footwork, but they footwork 9 times out of 8 they use up the least amount of effort, and when you give it to them, they're gonna get you a basket.
Fact.
Come on, let's do that top 10 list. See what I'm saying? I don't want to do the top 10 list of who got the most jewelry and all of that. Man, stop. And I keep saying to people, I get it. The game has changed. I'll tell you that. But just because a guy is your favorite player don't mean he was the best ever. It don't mean that. Just because the dude happening right now don't mean he was better than everybody that ever did it. That's ludicrous.
But Jay, this is what I'm saying. We're using adjectives to describe that he may be the best. He may be the best marketing. He may be a
Right,
marketer.
but you're
He
saying
may
we
be
got to
the
be more
best
more
marketed player of
specific.
all time. He may be the best player in terms of stat padding. He may be the he may
Right.
have come along at a time
Right.
where he's the best social media presence.
Right.
But is he the best player that's ever played in the NBA? That's ludicrous.
That's
that
ludicrous.
conversation is ridiculous.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Gully, what say you, man? Gully, you there? Oh,
I'm here. Yeah, I waited for a while, and I was hoping against hope that one of y'all would bring him up. That was Jay didn't, Brother Rich didn't, you didn't. Proof positive. I'm going to bring up one name that tells you that the idea of greatest of all time lists are a fallacy on their faces. One name none of you guys even mentioned. And I don't even think it come into your mind until I say it now. Nobody mentioned Julius Erving.
Fact.
Oh, yeah.
Pull the tape, Gully. I mentioned that on the last program we talked about.
Yeah,
Pull
but
the tape.
but
I
we-
mentioned it in the last program. But
yeah,
you're
we-
absolutely right. I didn't mention it. We
Yeah, we didn't mention it this time.
And it's unfortunate. And the reason why is simply because of how historically the ABA is valued or little regarded before it becomes the NBA. And the idea of it is the reason why Julius Erving is the probably the most tragic example of that is because had the Virginia Squires been in the NBA or the Nets been in the NBA, he would have had the same type of career, and his numbers would have been more well regarded historically.
Yeah, because those
This is
were
the
really
reason
his
why
prime years,
greatest
weren't
of
they?
all times list. Huh?
Those were his prime years, to tell you the truth.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing. This is why these lists are always. I mean, nobody mentions George Mikan. You talk about footwork. There's a reason why Shaq felt such a
Yes.
felt such
Connection.
a duty to pay for a scooter when
Yes.
he passed. Right.
Yes.
It expands eras. I'm never going to see the game the way my uncles and my dad saw it. Okay.
Right.
And the thing about it is, at some point in these next few generations, broadly speaking, if we haven't already arrived here, the athletes are going to be more athletic than LeBron, okay? Or they're going to be more athletic than Jordan, okay? We have to deal with that. But what we're talking about, what we argue is, okay, athleticism is but one component, not the only component.
Thank you.
To your greatness.
Thank
what do
you.
you do with it? Okay, and so what's going to happen is, as the generations pass on, they're going to portray that logic because they're going to stick to the athleticism. They're going to make the Dinwiddie argument about him being 6'6" with a 40-inch vertical, and nobody thinks he's athletic. Well, you're missing something. He's missing something when he makes that argument, and he's a player in the NBA, whose opinion should be respected. But these lists, Julius Erving and the athleticism argument, are the reason why all of these lists are a bit
skewed,
intellectually dishonest. Yeah, they're skewed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No. No, that's much better. Intellectually dishonest, and that's being nice. Double J. Okay, I'm gonna run through the list again, fellas, but we can start with Double J on this one. I want to ask, who would you take off of this list, and who would you add, if anybody? So let me repeat. Of course, Mike was number 1, Kobe was number 2, Bill Russell was number 3, Magic was number 4, Tim is number 5, LeBron 6, Shaq 7, Kareem 8, Bird 9, Wilt 10. Is there anybody you would take off Double J and add? We mentioned Hakeem, or I mentioned Hakeem. Would you add Hakeem, and if you would, where would you put him at?
You know, he's one of those. For me personally, it's tough for me to say that he's top 10 all time. Usually, and the reason, the personal conflict I have. So again, this is why it's entirely subjective to me. Is generally when I think of greatest all time, I think those that changed the game in some way, shape, or form. So we could look at Wilt, you could look at, as Gully pointed out with Dr. J, with
Bird.
Kareem. Exactly. Like there were rule changes that came, so again, that changed the entire league itself and how the game was played. And Hakeem, in my opinion, did things great without a doubt. That speaks for itself. But he, in my mind, had more of an impact at Houston
than the overall.
Than he did. Yeah, with
okay.
Yeah, than with the league itself.
Okay.
Again, great player, no denying that.
Okay.
But unfortunately, in my mind, he would be just outside of that.
Okay.
As far as someone not mentioned, this is where, I'm going to look at things maybe a little bit differently. And I don't think there's anybody that's truthfully missing that we haven't already pointed out.
Okay.
There's nobody that sticks out that should be worthy of consideration inside of the top 10.
Well, what about Dr. J then?
Well, but Gully already pointed him out.
Yeah, well, I'm okay. Well, I didn't know. I thought Gully was just mentioning him. You know what I'm saying? Gully, where? Okay, well then I ask you. Then where would you put him at on Bruce Bowen's top 10?
Dr. J?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be, if I'm looking at his list,
Bruce Bowen's list.
Be probably in that ninth spot for me.
Okay.
Probably ninth or 10th. I think when we talk about the 10 greatest of all time, he would have to be somewhere around there because, he would be like 10th or 9th. I don't know that I could put him ahead of a few of the obvious things. I don't know I could put him ahead of that, but 10th or 9th, yeah.
You know what? And here's another thing.
The only other player, Jay, that I'm going to throw on there, you know what? I'm not going to leave. There's no way I can leave this untouched.
Okay.
I'm going to take out Tim Duncan, and I'm going to throw in Shaquille O'Neal.
At 5? Well, Shaq is already on the list, though. You mean you throwing him in at 5?
Yeah, I'm throwing him in at
5. Okay. All right.
I talked about, that stuff as far as what he did on the court. I'm going to mention a very bizarre rule change that happened with Shaq that many don't realize. And even to my own, I overlook it every time I'm in the arena entering the Pistons game. You have to have an extra basket ready to get rolled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's true.
It's broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is because of Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
So again, it's something that most folks don't see, and many may not even realize that is a rule at this point.
Yeah.
Well, Double J, I got a question for you. Double J. All right. In your top 10, by your logic, in your top 10, who are you removing to put Steph Curry in? Because he's got to be in there. By your logic.
Whoa. Okay, I'll let you answer that first, Double J, because now I got a question.
Wait a minute. Why are we throwing Steph? Gully, give me some more context.
Yeah, I'm interested in that, too. How did he get there? How did he get in this house?
Yeah, because
the idea of the idea of a stretch 4 or a stretch 5 had been around well before Steph Curry arrived at the league. You don't really
Hold on. Stop. Number one, you kind of fading in and out. I don't know if you're moving your mouth away from the microphone or whatever it is, but we all need to hear this.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. But hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. You stealing my thunder because I was just getting ready to say that. I was going to ask in the case of Hakeem, was Hakeem one of the first bigs to stretch? Or was he the first big to stretch? But y'all ain't got to answer that right now. I just wanted to throw it out there so I wouldn't forget it. But then, two, you mentioned the stretch 4s and 5s and Steph Curry. I don't see how do Steph fit in that mix. Go ahead.
Because once the idea of positionless basketball took hold, after you saw the success of the Warriors and how many teams, even before LeBron you could say LeBron and the Cavs and the Heat moving Chris Bosh out of the blocks and maybe onto more of the wings. The idea of your centers, being more shooters than the guys on the blocks or what have you. I'm saying the idea of go ahead.
There's guys, I mean, that's gone way back. You got guys like Larry Johnson that lived in the mid-range.
But stretched out beyond that, like three. Yeah.
Larry Johnson didn't shoot a lot of threes.
No, but Dirk and Rasheed did.
Exactly. Guys like Rasheed Wallace were there.
Yeah.
There's a number of cases that can be made that
Dirk. Hold on.
But I'm saying before, hold on, because I don't want to move too far from my point. The reason why I brought that up and I said it in such a way is because before the Warriors and before Steph Curry and before they played the game the way they played, the idea of a stretch four was not. We didn't think of it that way. I don't think we just thought of guys who were big who could shoot the three. You know what I'm saying? Power forwards by nature who could shoot the three.
Like who, though?
Once the game changed, once the game was redefined with the way that the Warriors played and the way that Steph Curry at point guard would just shoot from anywhere, not everybody wants to play that way. Now we've got centers that want to bring the ball up the court. And you can look at your high school games, you can look at the college games, you can look all the way down to AAU. That's the way that they play it now.
Okay,
I think
Steph
I get Curry
where you're
and the way he shot the ball, the way he shoots from anywhere, the way he shoots and shoots from anywhere at any time and for any reason, it has redefined the way the game is played in the sense that everyone shoots. Come on, how many times you go to the park?
Yeah.
Right. So for that reason, and because you talk about changing the game, there's no way. Well, you can't objectively say he didn't change the game. It's hard. I think it's kind of hard to make the argument that he didn't objectively change the game. And by that's why I say by your logic, he's got to be one of the 10 greatest because the game has changed since his success and his popularity. That's the 6'2" guard out of Davis.
Who
would you take out of the top 10?
Jay, I'm the kid in the class jumping around, up and down in the classroom, waving my hand like, teacher,
Okay.
can I speak? Can I respond to that? Because I don't agree with that argument at all.
Okay, but wait.
Here's why I don't agree with that.
Okay, hold on. But let me say this. In his defense, that's a hell of a case, though. Because if you stop and think.
It is, but I want to respond to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's the case. But here's why I don't think Steph Curry. I think that Gully has a beautiful setup for Steph Curry. He has a beautiful setup for Steph Curry. But Steph Curry has to close the case on his own. And here's what I mean by that. Steph Curry has absolutely changed the game. I would have no argument if we're going to talk about people who changed the game.
Yeah.
But what Steph Curry has failed to produce yet and show us is that by him changing the game, he's the kind of leader himself that can lead a team himself by changing the game and show us that his way can win a title by himself. If he goes and wins some titles next year and in the next several years, I would absolutely, but I don't think we're ready to put him there yet. And here's why I always lobby for Larry Bird, quite frankly. Larry Bird changed the game in this way. Larry Bird culturally changed the game of basketball.
Yeah.
Because before Larry Bird, we saw white basketball players in one light. When Larry Bird played the way he played, played fundamentally sound, but yet had a playground flair to it, Larry Bird changed not only culture, but Larry Bird also showed not only am I changing the culture and showing y'all that white boys can play, and we can play just like black guys, and we can bust your you-know-what on the court, and we can talk as much stuff to you in your face to make you mad that you're going to want to fight me out here. But I'm going to do that, and we're going to win titles here. When Steph Curry shows me that the way he plays wins titles without Kevin Durant and without this one and without it being in controversy whether or not, without Kyrie helping this and that. When you show me, if he wins one title on his own that way, I will say absolutely correct.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, Gully, you did a wonderful job setting him up, but he got to close the door behind you and say, yeah, this is a secure argument.
Okay, but see, so then to two things. One, you both of you are definitely solid points. That's 50-50. Now we got a whole dollar. Okay, that's it right there. You know what I mean? I think both. If it's not a wrong in either scenario. Gully's was strong, yours was strong, and they both come together. If you ask me. But then two, But it's
no, he's not wrong at all. He's not wrong at all.
Yeah.
I just think that he did. That's why I say I think he did a magnificent job setting up his case for him. I just think Seth's got some more work to do before we put him up in them echelons, because the people we talking about, the door is closed on them. We know what they did. We can look at their career and see that they actually led their teams. In some, Hakeem changed the game fundamentally, where people are still trying to do what he did, and we know that he was the leader of that team. He led those teams into those titles. But we know it was him.
But I think what you suggesting, Brother Rich, is you'd like to see what Steph did, what Kobe did, and why he didn't want Garnett over there in L.A. Because he got tired of hearing of how all people was talking about Shaq carried me. Okay, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Because Garnett wanted to go to L.A. He didn't want to go to Boston.
Fact.
And Kobe was like, I got mad love for you, dog. Click. You know what I'm saying? Let me show y'all. Because if you think, Bynum was nice. Don't get it twisted. Bynum was nice, but Bynum was oft injured. Gasol was nice, but too finesse for me. You know what I mean? He played like Brad Daugherty at times. You know what I mean? He didn't have no, and like LaMarcus Aldridge, he wasn't no force. You know what I'm saying? I can't even really think who else was really on that squad like that. You know what I mean? That jump up, just like even a Pippen or even a Andrew Toney maybe or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? And
Ron Artest.
Oh, please, man, Meta World, man. Meta World, yeah. He had Ron Artest till Ben Wallace got hold of him anyway. Yeah. But it's all compelling. It really is. All of this stuff is good stuff, man. You know what I mean? I just say, this was the first list, again, that I looked at and said, okay, well, wait a minute. Made me pause, like, okay, let me throw this one up on the show and see what the fellas think, because it was actually one that made sense, even, of course, with, the People's Champion on it and whatnot. I said, all right, I get it. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at that one. You know what I mean? That's the one I wanted to talk about. But I've seen some, man, it just, the bias is just, it just reeks of bias. Like somebody that, and I no offense to my folks who, in AA or nothing like that, but how somebody drinking and they drink so much, it's coming through their pores. That type of deal, you know what I mean? The bias is just seeping all over the place. I'm like, man, get out of here with this one and that one and so on and so forth. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So, and we might have to do our top 10 list on who got the best footwork in today's game. You know what I mean? Get a couple homework assignments and have some folks watching, because I guarantee you it might be somebody other than who you think it should be. All right? Yeah, if you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. Once again, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. You listen to the Shop Report, and we are powered again by Rocket Digital. Rocket, ROCKIT, Digital. Fellas, this next one is one I found interesting. It's not really, when it first transpired or whatnot or took place, of course, there was a lot of conversation, surrounding it or whatnot. But, in looking up the stuff I was going to discuss on the show today or whatever, I saw an article, as always, and I'm saying to myself, wow, I didn't know that they were still, I thought things had kind of somewhat been resolved, if you would. And this is in regards to China. Now, we all clamoring for sports to get back, to resume, and for things to kind of get back to some sort of normalcy, or what we consider to be normal or whatnot, on the sports landscape. And, we want NBA back. We want the NFL for sure, things of that nature. But in a statement, and I'm telling you, China is not budging. In a statement, maybe about a week ago, to the Global Times, CCTV China says they still have no plans to air NBA games. And that's due to the relationship with the NBA remains somewhat icy in the wake of Daryl Morey's tweet last fall. Now, there is some speculation and some hope that the new CEO of NBA China, Michael Ma, that's Michael M.A., he takes over, I think, his takeover is effective June 1st. They say that could change some things, him being, because who was the other guy that was the CEO, NBA China CEO? Derek Chang, I want to say was his name. I think it's Chang. Yeah, I don't know if he stepped down or got fired. I don't know the details of it. looking stuff up on him or whatever, and it's just some of this is over there, some of that over there. So I was like, I'm gonna leave it alone. So whatever the reason, Chang is out, Ma is in, and there are a lot of conversation that Ma might be the driving force behind China changing their mind, so to speak. So I don't know, Brother Rich. We come to you on this one. You think this Ma might make a difference, or you think China, they on that if you're gonna stand, if you're gonna sit, but do not waver. What you think is going on here?
Well, we just mentioned culture a minute ago. Well, Chinese people have a very old, long, and very rigid culture. They have very sacred traditions. They are part and parcel of not just their social conditioning, but their political conditioning as well. So these are not people who are easily budged from their position. Mind you, we as a country are locked in a global trade war and dispute with them as it is. Having said that, we need to understand that there are elements of this where the NBA can only play but so much hand. China is determined that they're going to be respected as a nation and their independence and their autonomy as it relates to other circumstances of the situation. And the card that they can play, which may not be a heavy-handed card, but it's just heavy enough that we feel the blowback as a society, as a community, and the wealthier of our citizens who rely on that Chinese economy, that Asian economy, to get their bread and butter. The majority of bread and butter, as we know now, are the NBA players, these athletes, their money come from overseas, in particular the NBA. So with China understanding that, they're playing the cards that they have been dealt to play in a global trade war. A last point on that. My partner and I, from time to time, we have to travel through, or we go to Chinatown here in L.A. We have a very large Chinese community. We go down to Chinatown in L.A. And for the last several years, we have noticed that there are less and less items that we were traditionally easily able to get. And when we go in, they tell us that they can no longer get those items. And this is in the Chinese community itself. So they are suffering, their communities are suffering in there with all the trade wars and tariffs and whatever your position is on that, that's neither here nor there. From the point of view of what is undergirding what appears to be some kind of economic trade imbalance and discussion surrounding that, the NBA is caught up in that, and we're yet to see how this is really going to play out. But it's definitely to play out on many more levels. And I, like you, don't believe they're going to waver from their position.
I don't think so
unless
either.
Certain demands are met.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Double J, what say you? Is the NBA's global quote unquote brand, got a permanent stain on it now with this whole China deal?
Well, it does only with them. And what I mean by that is the global game, what you're seeing with, for example, what's taking place in Africa with the leagues being developed there, former coaches and former players from here going and not only making a living, but residing in different parts of the continent to expand the development of the game. Again, large credit it goes to Dikembe Mutombo for being really the catalyst for that, not only starting but and now developing into the way that it has. The fact of the matter is that we all, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, that is a very, very big market. And if you're looking to
and when you say
maximize your brand, your presence.
When you say big market, you mean China?
Can't really.
When you say big market,
right.
Okay, go ahead.
It's massive. If you look at it, again, this is why I stated it doesn't matter what industry you're in.
Oh, yeah.
That APAC, group has an enormous amount of folks that have, smartphones that, again, it doesn't matter if you're a app developer, you want to make sure that your app is available in that space. So again, it does not matter what way, shape, or form that you go about your business. You want to have a presence there. You have companies like Comcast trying to build a Universal Studios in China as we speak. I believe that's set to open next year.
Right.
You have other organizations such as Google, that currently you cannot Google search in China. They are trying to work with the Chinese government. A lot of this stems from intellectual property being shared, which many would argue that kind of defeats the purpose of you even having a brand at that point, because they know exactly what you did and how you did it.
Yeah, I would think so too.
I digress. So,
yeah,
really, the key to the NBA. Look at what happened when the amount of viewership potential, the revenues that can come from both digital as well as what we've seen, even just with the original agreement that we're discussing here that was ripped up, which was a couple $2 billion, and the impact that it's had on each individual team since then. And so really why we're even having this discussion right now is the fact that when you lose money in any industry for any company, you have to figure out how to get it back. And that was pre-pandemic. So
yeah, sure was.
It puts them in a very unique position. And when it comes, here's the trickle effect to this is that it also ends up on the shoulders. That burden ends up on the shoulders of the players, because remember, some of the players were holding out, or saying, I'm going to stay with this team because max contracts and television revenues were set to, over the next few years, were set to increase the cap.
Right.
Which, again, means you get paid more. Now we're looking at, not only is that arguably dead, that's not going to happen at all, but it might go in reverse, where you may see somebody like Giannis say, I have to stay in Milwaukee just to keep the same amount of money I was making before.
Wow.
Right.
And so we're really in a very unique set of circumstances right now, because nobody really has any true certainty of when we're going to get out of these circumstances. But again, even if life were normal dating back to December of last year, they still would have a very big gap and mountain to climb in how to achieve the revenue that they were going to be losing here, or ultimately just play damage control.
Yeah, China don't care as much about, quote unquote, getting the bag as they do honor. Okay, that's something that they've been on ever since Samurai and Ip Man and all them cats, and Bruce Lee and all them cats was rolling around. Hey, listen here. You could be the wealthiest guy in China, but if you disrespected somebody's honor, they was committing harikari. Okay? You know what I'm saying? They do not play, but it's principle is what we call it here. Basically. You know what I mean? All that, the paper don't mean nothing to them. Now they'll get it now. They one of the leading nations when it comes to technology. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, they got the latest everything. And when they anime, all they stuff, but that honor, man, they'll put that stuff on the shelf. No. Don't get it twisted. Just because we up to date don't mean that you not gonna get going out on a date. Okay, not the date. Gully, what say you about all this, man? Is the NBA's brand the global or the globality? You know what I mean? Is it a done deal or what? You know what I mean? And like Double J said, they're gonna have to fight to get that back. And how long you think it might take?
Well, if they value it as highly as one would think, then yeah, they might be suffering. But no, I think that the NBA will never. I think it would be bad business for the NBA to position themselves thinking that it has to get something. It has to get a certain type of consumer or a certain consumer versus entertaining the rest of the world, because where the world will lead, so will its biggest markets. So if opportunities to expand the game leads to better financial or economic opportunities in parts of Africa, if you will, or in parts of the rest of the world, China would be losing in that support. The NBA will continue to move on, has its expanded global reach.
Yeah, but do you think China would care? See, I don't know if China would.
Not yet because to your point, not yet because it doesn't make financial sense to care. They out of a position. I mean, if it's as you explained it, they have a position where they don't need the NBA's money.
That's what I'm saying.
We're gonna stand on these.
Yeah, they don't need.
So China doesn't feel like it does. The NBA perhaps
feels like it
looking
needs
at
China's
opportunity
money
to really expand and develop in that market. Yeah. The NBA right now, I think, is a bit more vulnerable at the moment because of the ceasing of airing the games. But I think that'll heal itself over time. You're not going to be able to stop. I think if the NBA continues to expand the way it does, other markets in the world will eventually soothe the blow from not having a presence in China that you'd want, and they'd be smart for not begging them to come back, because the idea of it is uncomfortable as it is. You have to. I think there should be some respect, if you will, for your base of operation, the National Basketball Association, the United States National Basketball Association. If you don't have a respect for that, and you're going to cater to the whims of whatever country has a political view different from yours, or voices a political view different from yours, you just assume go under. I think the NBA needs to hold fast, and they need to continue to expand elsewhere, and I think it will resolve itself just finally.
You know, I got another question for all of you all, and just right quick, because I want to get to this last dance. Unfortunately, I got other stuff I need to do this evening. But, Brother Rich, I'm coming to you again right quick. I wonder how come we haven't heard from Yao Ming in this regard? Because early on, when Yao retired or whatever, you know, I saw him just about anywhere and everywhere when it came to, you know, the NBA and bridging that gap with China or whatnot. Now, ever since Maury's comments, and as a matter of fact, even before Maury's comments, I don't see Yao Ming anymore. What do you think is, you know, what's up with that?
Because Yao Ming is a Chinese citizen. He understands the implications of going against his government.
Okay.
He has to live there. You know how they say he has to live with those people? He literally has to live with those people.
Okay, got you. Double J, what you think?
Well, I'm going to kind of live with I'm going to double down on Brother Rich's take there. Yeah. There's nothing more you can really say than that.
Yeah, but you know what too? Well, Gully, let me get your thoughts. What you think about Yao Ming's presence or not being present or not being seen? You know,
it sort of makes a justification for Daryl Morey's. It makes a justification for Daryl Morey's tweets and support.
Man, are you eating a Reese's peanut butter cup and we live?
No, I'm not.
You're
reading
smacking
a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Okay, well then, what are you eating?
No, listen.
What do you know?
I'm not eating anything.
You're not? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
No,
I'm not. Thank you.
Go ahead, because I know your mother. Right. I know your mother. Okay, I will call her and let her know you're being rude. But continue.
And disrespect.
Yeah, and disrespectful.
My point is the silence of Yao Ming, who was, like I said, he was as big an ambassador for a country, for his game, and you know he was definitely great for both the NBA and China's presence outside of something that deals with manufacturing and whatnot. He was great. His silence, I think, highlights sensitivity of the matter, and I think it sort of underscores Daryl Morey's point that his perspective that he was trying to get across. It was about the Hong Kong protesters. What were they protesting about? Remember, that's where everything kind of fell apart, you know, and you had LeBron James and you had people taking issue with Daryl Morey's positions or what have you. But the fact that you don't see an ambassador with the sort of presence that Yao Ming has and maintains even still sort of makes the argument that maybe Daryl Morey wasn't, if he wasn't incorrect in in saying so, he wasn't perhaps off base in understanding what the protests were about. And I think that's to help to explain maybe his silence, Yao Ming's silence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, man. You know, if I'm going to Yum Chow Cow. I don't know his name. Lord forgive me. But I'm like, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I played over there with them Rockets, man. You know what I mean? You know, and they got, you know, them soft pretzels. Them boys be banging. You know, I thought he might, you know what I'm saying, speak on behalf or something. You know what I mean? Like, man, can't we just all get along? No, maybe. Okay.
Well, the leader's name is Xi Jinping, and if he were to go to Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party and speak against them, unfortunately, he understands that he could easily systematically be dispersed, displaced, and sent for re-education.
No,
and in China, that doesn't look quite like just sitting in the classroom.
Yeah, no,
so
I
don't
know.
think he wants to expose himself, his family, his parents to that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and the reality is that economically, the NBA needs China, as Gully told us, and as Double J was saying as well, based on the conversation, the NBA needs China way more than China needs the NBA. Way more.
No, I was saying, I thought that you said Xi Jinping. I thought that y'all could go to Xi Jinping and be like, hey, Xi, come on, man, holla at your boy, man. You know, them is my boys over there, man. You know what I mean? You know, can't we just, you know, let's sit down and drink some green tea or something, you know what I mean? You know, puff on one of these, you know, rice sticks or something, baby. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I thought it might, you know, closed door session. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. But, yeah, I'm going to keep us, you know, keep us posted on that whole idea. If you all getting the information and, you know, some new information, please pass it on to me or whatnot. Because I thought that was rather interesting, you know, because I know the NBA and the China and the monies, you know, they go back and forth. You know, that was a big deal. You know, China's a big chunk of that whole, you know, that's a big deal, man. So, you know, to not have that, you know, the ends might not be justifying the means. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. Once again, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. You're listening to the Shop Report, powered by Rocket Digital. All right, fellas, the last one is called, in my estimation, or as I like to put it, The Last Dance Finals, quote, unquote, 9 and 10. Now, let me say this first. I saw 9. I did not see 10. So some of you all on the panel today going to have to fill me in. Oh, boy, look at this. That's a regular KRS, my boy. Hey, Double J, don't start nothing. Don't start. Hey, I'm going to get me an Xbox, too, man. I'm coming to see you in that fight night. You heard? Yeah, son. Yeah. Gully, don't even get in that because, you know, you got whooped on. Oh, okay. That's what I'm silent.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Whoa. See, you had a whole bunch of truth, and then you just hot garbage just spewed from your mouth. You might need to check that.
Hey,
you have a fever? You're running the temperature?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Doctor about
no,
that.
I know. I don't need to go see the doctor. No, I don't. Yeah, you heard me. I will repeat it right here on this program. I will whoop on you in the fight night. Already did. And Double J, you got one coming too. Now, what y'all want to do? Oh, that's what I thought.
Well,
yes.
This is where he oversteps his bounds here, Gully. And,
what you say, Double J? You
just like what would have happened. What would have happened to Yao Ming had he went to Xi Jinping. You would have been sent for re-education as well.
Oh, Double J
like
got lyrics. Double J got some lyrics. Double J, I repeat, I will whoop on you in the fight night. You don't want none of this, son. You know what I'm saying? Man, please. You don't know, y'all, boy. Anyway, let's get to this Last Dance. We're gonna have a PlayStation playoff. You understand me? In a minute here, Xbox.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Oh, don't tell us
Sugar
like
Ray
nothing.
Robinson versus anybody you got. Give me Sugar Ray Robinson versus anybody you got, and you're going to be yeah. And you know what? What you should do? Buy yourself an extra controller for the one that you're going to throw and break when I beat you with Sugar Ray Robinson. That's all I'm saying.
First of all, that Xbox controller looked like a shovel. See what I'm saying? I don't even know how y'all hold it.
For what you need to do. Yeah, you're digging your own grave. Keep talking about video games. Keep talking about fight night. You're digging your own grave. It's your shovel. It's perfect, too. Gets right in there into the dirt that you're digging and piling up on yourself. Nice and cozy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see I'm going to have to show y'all my record. Y'all better check my record. Anyway, can we get to the last game?
You know what his record is? Hey, remember when you played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Remember when you played Glass Joe? His record was 1-99.
No, I don't remember the Glass Joe. I remember Mike Tyson, because that's who I was, Mike Tyson. Seriously. Anyway, can we get to the last dance? Okay, so y'all going to have to fill me in on 10, all right? Brother Rich, you still with us?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just saying, Brother Rich, I'm going to send you the end results after this fight night whooping I put on Double J and Gully. I'm going to play both of them at the same and whoop both of them. You understand what I'm saying?
Do you play as a cowboy character? You play the cowboy character
see,
in this game?
see,
I've never
gamer
played this.
tag with little Jerry.
see.
Oh, I figured that.
Okay, that's what
I didn't know they had an Xbox connection or Wi-Fi going into the kettle there. But you learn something new every day, I suppose.
Yeah, this again on the next show we're gonna have to answer that question. How did we even get to this point? Anyway, let's get to the last dance. See what I'm saying? This is what happens when you get to whooping on folks on their little PS5s and oh, that PS5 looks sweet too, though. By the way, oh, it looks nice, real nice. Yeah. So again, y'all gonna have to fill me in on 10. The Last Dance Finals. That's what I'm calling it. And as I said earlier, I watched 9, and as I'm watching 9, I paused. They got the little thing where you can hit the pause button or whatever because it was on demand or whatever. And I grabbed me a piece of paper and I wrote this down. The debate is over. I already said it, but I'm going to say it again. The debate is over. Folk are so caught up in the reverence that reality don't even exist. The debate is over. It's over. Anybody else, anybody that from this point on that wants to debate it, don't do it with me. Please, don't do it with me. Okay? Go to some of your Fisher Price friends and, do that type of thing because it's over for me. You know what I mean? And it was a few things from 9 that I wrote down and I really, really wanted to point out. Number 1 is the sequence in the Eastern Conference Finals Game 4 in 1998 when him and Reggie Miller and so on and so forth and Jordan. I don't know if you all remember that. Well, Double J, you remember that series. Brother Rich, I know you do, and Gully, you too. You know what I'm saying? But it's a couple of youngsters out there. They ain't started watching basketball till 2017. Anywho, let me break down the sequence for you. Scotty misses the 2 free throws, right? Bird draws a play up for Reggie during the timeout. Right? Was it a timeout? I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was a timeout. But anyway, he drew the play up for Reggie. It was a timeout, whatever. Jalen Rose says, there are a lot of players that make shots the first 3 quarters of a game. But when
that's what he said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. But when you talking about who gonna make a shot late, give the ball to LeBron. I mean Reggie. My bad. Sorry. Get the ball to Reggie. And then Reggie said, when Larry was drawing up the play, I remember thinking, put all the pressure on the official to make him make a call. Man, I said it a long time ago when I was at Sports Talk Cleveland. Me and my co-host got into it. Matter of fact, he and I, we didn't speak for a long time after that. He started undercutting me, as a matter of fact. I said, the AAU has killed basketball. And I won't elaborate on that now. We'll do that some other time later on down the line. But my point to him, and then Kobe said it some years later after me. That's what I'm seeing from these AAUs. You understand? Not understand. They don't. Where they doing that in the WBA game right now, Brother Rich? Where they doing that? Understand them. Before we even get back on the flow, putting all the pressure on the official to make him make a call. Gully, we're gonna come to you on that. Out of everything I just read, man. Tell me. Go ahead, break it up, break it down like you always do. Go ahead. Find the kettle. Find the cowboy kettle. That's what we're going to start calling it. Find the cowboy kettle.
Well,
it
tells you that, first of all, it tells you how truly good or great Jalen Rose is. Though, if you don't already know, you wouldn't know it unless you saw it, you know what I mean? Because the stats don't show it. But again, for statisticians, it's not a lot to go on. But yeah, he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. You make the official, you know what I mean? Make it count. Make the official have to make a decision.
Make him have to make a call. Make him have to make a call. But I love what Jalen said even more than what Reggie said. It's a lot of cats that eat for 3 quarters. But when you need a shot, it ain't no question who the ball going to, right? Could we say that about Kobe? Could we say that about Mike? Could we say that about Magic?
Right.
Could we say that about Kareem? Hakeem? Oh, okay. Barkley? Yeah. That's right. I don't even play 2K, but I'm gonna start playing 2K. I'm going to get Tom Chambers. Now get at me. I'm just saying, Double J.
You're going to be very disappointed.
I doubt it. I'm going to do that windmill dunk he did in 1987, baby, when he won the MVP of the All-Star game. Oh, yeah. Don't get it twisted. Tom Chambers will come at you. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, ain't Drazen Petrovic the one that told Mike in the game against the Nets? He said, you ain't Jack. I'm coming at you. Wasn't that Drazen? Oh, okay. Yeah. Plumbers, janitors. Yeah, all right. But go ahead, Double J. Have your say.
Well, here's the thing. With Mike established himself, I mean, you've seen it in earlier episodes when Ahmad Rashad asked him as he was entering a hotel. You know, that's how well known it was and how he never shied away from that. And as Jalen pointed out, and as the stats somewhat speak for themselves here, it's not just having the confidence or ability to pull up and take the shot, but it's the ability to drain it. And as you've seen, Mike had that ability to do both. It is shown throughout that entire series. And unlike the current king, who made a career of actually being the facilitator.
Yeah, like Rubio.
And stats, the stats somewhat speak for themselves on his ability to be clutch and take that final shot, where, again, facilitating was actually to the benefit of the entire team. Mike, on the other hand, these folks were wide open. I mean, if you look at Kerr, you look at Paxson, I mean, there was no one in town. He was swarmed.
But why was that, though, Double J?
And, again,
why was that? That's because Mike drew so much attention.
Exactly. Everyone knew, you know, he might as well have walked over there and told them, I'm taking this shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it would have made any difference.
Imagine that.
And that put him in a league of his own. Again, maybe if Larry Bird would have played Jalen some more, but I'd love seeing, even after that game, the trash talk between the two.
Oh, that was lovely. But it was respect, too, though. You get what I'm saying? It was a respect thing. Like, man, yeah. Bird was like, man, you some of them. I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. But I'm going to say this, too, though, about Reggie Miller. See, this is what you have to, folks, this is what I mean. If I don't see it, ain't much I can say on it. I might can nod my head. But if I saw it, oh, yes, pull up a chair and get you a pen and a pad because it's going down. Reggie Miller was, that's why when people talk about there was plumbers and janitors back then. Really? Man, Reggie Miller. And they said this in the they said it, somebody, I don't know who it was talking. They said, man, if you knew Reggie didn't matter who was on him, he was going up with that boy. Man, Reggie used to give everybody the business. Everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody the business. Man, did I say Larry? Yeah, Reggie, excuse me. If I said Larry, whatever. Reggie Miller. He will bust your, man, don't even get me started. Brother Rich, what you want to weigh in on this? What Jalen said and then what Reggie said? Go ahead.
But again, I think this is the point here. Fundamentally, when we even begin this GOAT debate, I don't even know how this is a debate, because what are we talking about here? The GOAT at what? The GOAT at advertising, the GOAT at most deals. But if we're talking about the GOAT of basketball, and all of us have now seen this documentary, I think I agree with you. The debate is over.
It's over.
It's been over to those of us that understand.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
When you think about
Let's look at that commentary you just gave us to contemplate for a minute and study over about a player saying of another player that, some players can get out in the first three quarters, but it's a very rare air that can make a player jump and want that ball in that minute where
yes.
you know that.
Yes.
What did you say? What you said to us, Double J, that it was made clear in our mind. It wasn't even a hesitation. Like he was insulted.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You know, this is not a debate here. This is my team.
Yeah.
And in 10, there's a point in there where he says, everybody in the building knew. The ball was going to Michael Jordan. Everybody, the concession worker knew Jordan get this ball. And it caused Kerr to be wide open because everybody knows if it's last shot time, the person who wants to take the shot, who doesn't care if I'm playing the whole arena, bring out your security guards, bring out your parents. I'm taking this shot, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's the kind of player we're talking about that we are looking at, that when we're talking about the GOAT debate, without a doubt.
It's over.
Absolutely.
And it's the player that we all, and I say everybody here on this panel, we all saw. You know what else I thought was interesting? A tidbit in 9. I didn't even know this. But then I'm sure this is something Double J and Gully, and you too, Brother Rich, may know this, but Double J and Gully, they good with numbers. They dive a little deeper than I do. I'm more philosophical in my approach. But that Jordan and Pippen eliminated the most 60-win teams in the postseason in NBA history?
Wow. Man, whole lot of plumbers, man. Whole lot of plumbers and janitors, right?
That's what I'm saying. How you a plumber and a janitor, but you and did I mention the number of teams that they beat, the 60-win team? 7? 7? But again, I'm glad you said that, Gully. How you a plumber and a janitor and your team's winning 60 games? But you're a plumber and a janitor?
I'm going to take it a step further, Jay. Not within that number there were 20 Hall of Famers that he would knock out of the playoffs.
Oh, okay. Oh, just like the top 50 list we mentioned earlier, everybody's talking about he's the top 50. But guess what? Guess how many of them top 50 players when this list first came out is from our era? Anyway, yeah. Would you repeat that, though, Double J? Because I don't think you might won't need to repeat that because you might gonna need to. Excuse me, because I don't. The people in the back, I don't think they heard you. Go ahead, repeat that, please.
Michael Jordan eliminated 20 Hall of Famers in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. RB, I hope you're listening.
And this argument about plumbers and janitors, I would like to see one of these young boys, one of them, in today's NBA, get on the basketball court, and I'll just send out a hick from French Lick. Call him a plumber and a janitor.
Thank you.
I bet he'd give you 50.
But see, here's the thing. Did we not mention on the last program or the program before the last P program we mentioned Bird? Everybody told me, said, he couldn't play in this era. I said, let me tell you something. See, y'all so caught up on the size. Bird gonna have your best player in foul trouble before half. And your best player can't do nothing with him sitting on the bench. Then he gonna eat. Bird is heady enough that he gonna make it so he gonna be doing most of his work against your sub.
That's the thing about Larry Bird, right? When it came to athleticism, even for his day, he wasn't the most athletic.
He wasn't athletic.
You see what I'm saying?
You couldn't mention athletic and Larry Bird in the same sentence at all. At all.
No, but he knew how to play the game. I mean, definitely, you know what I'm saying? He worked out enough, to be there. And I mean, he's definitely his cardio was in check.
Of course,
he was there in every critical moment.
Yeah, but
he was there when he needed to be.
Yeah, but you know what I mean by he wasn't athletic at all. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. Doc went from one side of the basket to the other side, but was still on the same side that he went up on and got the basket. You get what I'm trying to tell you? That infamous move where he did the layup underneath the basket with one hand. Magic said, I saw him go up. And they was like, Coop, did you see it? I want him to do that again.
Right.
I want him to do that again. Man, Doc, man, don't. Oh, man, see, don't. Y'all about to see, y'all do this stuff on purpose. Y'all throw little stuff out there because y'all know I take the bait, man, and I get to going off on a tangent, man. Y'all dead wrong for that. You started it too, Double J. No, Brother Rich, you started it. Or one of y'all, somebody started it.
What did I do?
Oh, don't. What I do? What I do? Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Yeah, stop it. You know what else I found interesting? The whole flu game, the man was food poisoned. Hey, listen. I'm going to bring my boxing specialist back on because he was with me that day. My first time and last time, my right hand, mark my words, I will lie for you before I would to you. I went to Taco Bell, Gully, and you know which one I went to. Brother Rich, you might do too. It's one right there on 260th in Euclid before you go up the hill. Listen, it's when I had the Black Regal. Man, me and Reek was rolling. I usually don't eat at them kind of places. You know what I'm saying? Taco Bell, I'm not going to, not going to hit me with libel. But anyway, I eat the Taco Bell. Man, it didn't even take an hour. I was done. Man, I felt like Bruce Lee and Ip Man and Mike Tyson was all having a fight scene in my stomach. And Chuck Norris. Man, I had never been so, and it was my first time and last time ever eating there or Taco Bell, period. Man, when I say I was out of it, and when they were showing it in the episode 9, when they showing him sweating, man, I fell out the chair. I said, well, I'll be doggone. It's this, man, listen, I was sweating, my stomach. Reek had to drive. And he my cousin. I love him. He know I wouldn't say nothing that I couldn't say if he was here. He the last person you want driving. You understand what I'm trying to Am I lying, Gully? He the last person you want driving.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, because he be talking to you, hey, man, man, keep your eyes on the road, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he driving the car with no brake pedal. He just rolling. You know what I'm saying? But I was so out of it. I had to let him drive, man. And I didn't care where we went or how fast we went. Just get me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Man, I was done for 2 days. So for that dude, these dudes they not cut like that. Go ahead, Double J. You got something to add? Go ahead.
A former Pizza Hut employee
out
of Park City Pizza Hut
Yeah.
has said that he maintained all the proper precautions prior to the delivery.
Yeah, I bet.
And that they called that a, quote, bunch of crap on that theory.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you do when you got food poisoning. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I don't know who the pizza people are, but they tell them they can come see Barbershop J, and Barbershop J will tell them to their face, with or without a camera, they are lying. Everything Mike said after it was that I saw that it was food poison, and they said he brought the pizza, and he said, man, I was sick. Everything that he said that he was dealing with, I dealt with it. Everything he said, I had it that day. Matter of fact, y'all hold the line.
Look, when you say curl up in the fetal position, that already, listen, you ain't got to mention nothing more. There's very, very few things that will have a grown man curled up in the fetal position. Heartbreak, heartache, and food poisoning are the only three.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yep.
I'm trying to tell you. Hold on.
And the Cowboys consistent losing streak.
Brother Rich. Brother Rich, your mic went out. Hold on. Hey, Reek, I just called my Reek. I got you on the line. I'm doing the show right now. I'm just calling you. We talking about have you been watching it? And I'm not gonna keep you long. I just want you to. I got you on here to because it was something I mentioned. Something happened one time. Have you been watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan?
I seen a couple of
okay. So you didn't.
Shows on
okay, you didn't see episode 9.
I'm not sure which one. Which one was that?
Okay, and that was the they just did the last 2 this past Sunday. Here's what I want you to. Here's why I got you on the line. In episode 9, you remember everybody was talking about up to this point. Everybody thought that
when he was sick.
Yeah, when he was sick, right? But when I watched, okay, they say it wasn't the flu. He had food poisoning. Would you please tell him? Would you please?
Some pizza.
Yeah. Okay. Would you please tell these people why we on the air right now? That time when I had food poisoning.
Yeah.
Who was driving?
What about it?
Who? I just want to let them know. I'm telling people that when Mike said he had food poisoning, all the stuff he was going through, tell him how jacked up I was that day, man.
Yeah, he was pretty messed up.
Who was driving?
You was driving.
I know that barbershop. He don't let people behind the wheel of his car.
I don't let people. You don't remember? You don't remember me telling you to drive?
Huh?
You don't remember me telling you had to drive?
Well, where was we at? Coming from Virginia?
No, man. When we went to the Taco Bell.
Dallas.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about when you was still coming from Virginia.
Nah, I'm talking about that day when I had the black Regal with the red seats and the pop-up sunroof.
Right.
Yeah, with the tires with the white letters on them. We call them raised whites, by the way.
Okay.
You remember that day?
You talking about all the way back? Nah, you talking about too far back, man. I don't remember.
Man, Reek, I had you drive. I was in the passenger seat holding my stomach. I was like, man, please, man, take me back to Mom and Grandpa's, man, please.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, man, this guy
man,
here.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. You drove me. Huh?
I said, you had me driving?
Yeah, I had you.
I probably ain't had no license then.
I know. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And Gully, no, we cousins here, y'all. Gully, would you tell it again? I don't let nobody drive my cars, do I?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You never let anybody drive this car.
I'm trying to tell you. Listen, man, I'm telling you, I was jacked up that day. I was all the way jacked up. All right, man, go ahead, Reek. Go back to do what you was doing, man. I'll catch up with you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, man, I
you see that, Brother Rich? You got that Hutmobile
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
Again, that was gifted to you from Jerry Jones and George Hallett. It makes sense.
Double J, hold up. You don't talk about the Buick Regal, baby. Jerry, you don't talk about the Buick Regal, baby. I had 2 Buick Regals in my lifetime. They were spit shine, baby. You don't talk about the Buick Regal. See, Double J, that kind of talk right there gonna get you an extra whooping on Twitch on Fight Night. Guaranteed. It's going down, baby. Yeah. But like I said, I didn't get to see episode 10. So before we get on out of here, is there anybody that wants to add a tidbit from episode 10 that I'm going to watch it anyway because I recorded it. I'm going to still watch it. But something interesting that they saw from episode 10 that they want to point out here while we still on the B-Rod Crast and the P-Roll Graham. Double J?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to point out the relationships that were established throughout the entirety of his career that lasted beyond his playing career with the security guards, which you've seen, how one had specifically looked over the home that's currently for sale there, and until he had passed away, but he had some things that some memorabilia as well as memories, and additionally, it was recited from others that he stayed in touch with these guys again well after he had stepped away. Even when he was playing baseball, they still had a presence with him. The impact that the gentleman had, and forgive me for forgetting his name at the moment,
Gus.
That he was taking care of. He kind of became kind of that father figure for him.
That was Gus, the security guy. Gus,
okay.
yeah,
and his wife, that gentleman's wife, even had spoke throughout the program there, mentioning that he was present for doctors' visits, calling and checking on them. and even and vice versa. That gentleman coming to Michael's side in the middle of the night, that type of stuff. As somebody like myself, I know all of us have been on kind of the inside here to varying extents with those that have called themselves, professional athletes. That is really what defines, who you are. And
Right.
don't just generally the folks that surround themselves with a bunch of yes men
Right.
don't get very far.
Right.
But for somebody as, that was constantly throughout this thing being shown as somewhat of an a-hole, the guys that he would play 82 plus games with in a season didn't know him that well, but these folks did.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to show, again, you heard his teammates say, wow, we've seen the human side of Mike. But for these specific few, they've seen it, and they've seen it regularly.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
Nobody appeared to really know him best outside of his immediate family in those 3 or 4. But what really spoke volumes to who MJ is as a person was his ability to empathize and support those guys that took care of him, making sure he got from A to B. He made sure that they were well taken care of, later in life as well. And so, that to me spoke volumes of who he is as a person.
Man, listen, I'm so glad you brought that up. 2 things, A side, B side. A side, that's what I mean. You don't have to be Michael Jordan to do what Mike did, to understand when you compete, you go hard or you go home. When Mike was in his arena and anything that had anything to do with his arena, he was a wolf. He was on it. He was locked in. I'm coming to get you because this means something to me. This is me and my brother in the backyard, and he whipped me all them times. But then on the flip side, like you said, if you look at the lady who was talking, Gus's wife, I want you to go back and watch that episode. Go back and look at that and look at her facial expressions. They were genuine is an understatement. She said it emphatically on more than one occasion. She and really her expression said what you just said, put in the words, Double J. Y'all really don't know what y'all don't know about this dude. You get what I'm saying? Because I really don't like to assume, but I would love to ask that lady. Mike was probably there more so there for your husband than some of his own family. I'm willing to bet, and I don't gamble, I'm willing to bet that she say you doggone right. So yeah, it was another side to Mike, like you said, that we all didn't know, but she knew. And I bet you can't say nothing bad about Mike around her. Holla. Yeah. Gully, what say you, man? What was one thing? Oh, you didn't. Did you see episode 9 and 10? 9 and 10?
No, I'm doing my homework, man. I've got to see it, man.
Oh, it's all.
I've got to see it.
It's all good. That's why we do the the fearsome foursome here. You know what I'm saying? The 4 horsemen here, baby. Brother Rich, Double J, they gonna fill us in. Brother Rich, what did you see from episode 10 that kind of stood out to you, man, that you'd like to point out here on the show?
6 finals MVP. The winning shot, the biggest shot taker, the biggest shot maker, a man that put a literal unknown franchise. I didn't know anything about Chicago, and they were in the NBA. They had an ugly uniform, but I didn't know anything about them as a serious team until Michael Jordan put that brand, that franchise on his shoulder and built not just a team, but built a city, built a brand, and built a league. The debate is over. There's only one GOAT, and he is Michael Jordan.
And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. Go to the search box and you type in the Shop Report. And while you're there, please subscribe. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast and give us a follow. And while you're at the same time, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as dropping us your comments, suggestions via email, theshopreport365@gmail.com. And we now have a website that, again, is currently under construction, but is up and running well enough that y'all can go and check that out as well, theshopreport.com. And if that don't work, Google it. For my mans, Be Rich, Double J, D Gully, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop J, and you've been listening to The Shop Report. Oh, and remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla!
Lil Jerry is the password for the Wi-Fi.